Hey everybody, welcome to the class. It's a pleasure to be with you tonight. Today is Wednesday and we just have two more classes to finish. So in my end, time flies when we get fun. Okay, so we're gonna check about the platform first. This is the class of tonight and this is the homework for tonight. And remember that for tomorrow, we have to finish the whole thing, the whole platform. And also, we need to finish also, or wait for a Friday so we can fill the survey together, the Instafor survey. That will be it. Okay, we're going to check about the attendance. Ana Claudia González Velázquez.
Present, teacher.
Good. David Samuel Galdames Monterrosa. Dora Elizabeth Flores Méndez.
Present.
Good. Fernando Ernesto Cosme Morales. Fernando Marvin González Martínez. Francisco Eduardo Figueroa Mejía. Iliana Giselle Cañas Escobar.
Present, teacher.
Good. Jarvin Isaac Guevara Miranda. José Marcos Rodríguez Ayala.
Present.
Good. José Osmin Rivas Navas. José Wilfredo Ayala Sorto.
Present, teacher.
Good. Juan Miguel Bran Mejía. Luis Albert Steve Bonilla Canales. Roxana Yvette Asensio de Mejía. William Alexander Ramírez Flores.
Present.
Good. Wendy Patricia Molina Duarte. Okay, David, got you. Nice. All right. So, okay, so we are going to start with a little video. Let me just check. Okay, and then you're going to tell me what did you understand? What are some comments? Okay, David, I hope everything goes well. Yeah, again, I remember that a few times ago, a few months ago, it was failing the internet again, is causing some problems. So yeah, I hope that everything goes well. Well, it's raining, but it shouldn't be a problem, right? So I don't know what's going on. Anyways, we're going to try to be on the whole class. Okay, so let's check this video and then let me know what you got from this. Okay, here we go. Oh, I have to do something for you to listen. Sorry. Yeah, it's like this. Okay, here we go.
So how many of you think that technology can solve all of our biggest social problems? A few hands, a few at the top. How many of you think that maybe technology isn't the answer, that we just need to improve our social systems to solve our problems, and maybe technology creates problems? More of you. Great, great. So I think that you're both right. Personally, I believe that we have the technology today that we could solve all the world's biggest social problems, food, water, shelter, energy, for everyone on the planet within 10 years. At the same time, these technologies are also so powerful that I believe they could also greatly harm our society. And that today, we need to come up with new ethical frameworks on how to use these technologies, and we need to redesign how our societies, our governments, our economic systems, our education systems work. I want to tell you more about why I believe that, and in the process tell you a bit about my own journey as a social entrepreneur who started working with technology. This is my hometown. I'm from the countryside in California. It's a very rural area, and as a child, I could see the stars, I could see nature around me, and I love science and I love technology. However, also being in a small community, I saw people's lives over 20 years. I saw the social problems that they faced, and I cared a great deal about people. I wanted to study physics, but then I switched to history, and I went to work in the nonprofit sector. When I was young, I went to places like Vietnam, where I worked in the education sector, and Myanmar, where I worked with orphans and also teaching. And I also spent about 10 years working with an organization called Ashoka, which is the world's largest organization of social entrepreneurs. But something that was interesting to me was that during those years, most people in this industry were very suspicious of technology. They didn't like technology. And this is because this is what technology was. Usually, you would have a very wealthy country wanting to help a low-income country, and they would bring in a well or other big infrastructure projects. They would drop it on a village with no input from the villagers. The infrastructure would break. Then it would be very expensive, and no one would have running water or other things. But I had the sense that somewhere along the line that technology was changing, that this big, expensive infrastructure wasn't what technology had to be. And in 2011, I heard of this place called the Singularity University. And it's a university based in the Silicon Valley that says, we want to use exponential technologies to solve the world's biggest problems, to impact the lives of 1 billion people in a positive way. So I went to this program, and I learned that technology had indeed changed. We live now in a world that is digital, and we're digitizing everything that we can, from the internet to our DNA to how we manufacture goods. And digital technology is different than the old technology. It's cheap, it scales very, very, very fast, and you can iterate with it and work with it, and almost anyone in the world, more and more, can take this technology and use it to solve their own problems. While we were there, I was on a team that created a company called the MatterNet, which was the world's first use of drones for transport. We came up with the idea we could use these cheap flying robots to deliver medicine in low-income countries where people might have to walk 8 hours a day just to get a lab test or to get medicine. That company worked, and it created a whole new drone transport industry that exists today. That was a very powerful experience for me because I learned the power of technology today and how it could dramatically solve our social problems. I met other incredible people too that were also using technology. There's a man named Mark Post from the Netherlands who has invented this hamburger. He takes a little bit of a cow. He doesn't kill the cow. He takes a piece of the cow about this big and puts it in a bioreactor, and he grows meat. His first hamburger, that cost him about $200,000 to build. Very expensive. But now it's only about $10. And he has a lot of competition. Other people are working on hamburgers, chicken, meat, poultry. At first you think, this sounds disgusting. Who would want to eat this, right? But then I thought, well, you don't kill animals with this. And think about all the damage to our environment that the livestock industry causes, the fishing industries. Eating meat causes huge problems to our world. And furthermore, you can make this meat possibly healthier, so it doesn't give you a heart attack someday, right? So I actually think I will eat that meat when it comes out. And I hope our whole world might do so also. I also met another team that was working on improving education in Myanmar through virtual reality. Myanmar is one of the poorest countries in the world and has one of the worst education systems. This team just went around and recorded classes and how teachers were teaching students in virtual reality. And within a few months, they had 128 schools in Myanmar signed up to train their teachers in 21st education. This did not cost a lot of money to do. This is the hope that we have for rapidly improving our education system globally. Another team, Iris AI, actually from Europe, they're building an artificial intelligence that can perform biomedical research. Maybe someday they'll save my life or your life. Again, I want to emphasize this technology, it's not expensive. It doesn't take that long to build. We live in this world now where anyone can start creating solutions for one another. But as I was working in this industry, I started to see there's also a dark side to technology. I took this photo of a self-driving car that's in my neighborhood in Mountain View. So I drive with these cars already. And I love them because they will reduce traffic accidents, they will allow the elderly and the disabled to be mobile. But they and other robots and artificial intelligence are going to cause possibly massive unemployment. And because this technology is that falls so quickly in cost, I actually don't believe that our current economic system will be able to work in the future. Many of you know the internet, the promise of the internet. You know, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook stands for giving everyone a voice. I believe that too. I believe in the potential of everyone on this planet to have a voice, to contribute to society. And I love the internet and social media for making that possible. I think about the Ice Bucket Challenge, where strangers, through generosity, through play, raised $200 million to help cure a disease. That's what the internet has allowed us to do. But there's also a dark side. If everyone has access to the internet and can create their own websites and news sources, we now don't know which news is true or false. This has caused a crisis in my own country, and others might agree also in theirs. About 2 weeks ago, we had all of our scientists come out onto the street because they felt the scientific method was under attack. So these are very big fundamental changes that are happening right now. I told you the story about our drone company, and drones are saving lives. But in the last few months, ISSS has also been using drones to kill people. They put bombs on them and just send them at soldiers, and they put grenades on them and drop them from above. So it's not really, is the technology good or bad? The technology can save a life or it can kill a life. It's what do you intend to do with it? Liz Parrish, this is one of my favorite people. She lives in Washington State in the US, and she realized that for years we'd been performing gene therapy to reduce aging in lab animals. But she knew she could never get this cleared through our regulatory system, so she created a startup. She didn't have a university, she didn't work for a big biomedical company, and she took the gene therapy on herself. She did this about 2 years ago, and she has not had any negative effects, and that there's biomarkers in her cells that are now 20 years younger. So this is the world that we're living in. One person can create a startup to reverse aging. Or one person could use genetic engineering to perhaps create a virus that could harm all of us. Elon Musk, you know he started SpaceX. You know he started Tesla. He recently announced he's creating a neural lace that they'll read your brain. And he's hooking it up to a computer. For decades, scientists have been working on this to help paralyzed people. You can read a person's brain waves, send it to a computer, hook it up to an exoskeleton, and then people can walk. This is happening right now. But just to be clear, this is also the beginning of merging our minds with machines, and it's the beginning of telepathy. When I think of all this, I think of that we are now entering a human revolution. We know we've been in a technological revolution, the internet era, the information age, computers, technology, that's defined all of us, our generation. But that is now triggering this human revolution, where I think these technologies are giving fundamental questions that we thought our great-grandchildren might have to answer to us now. Do you want to live forever? Do you want to cook your brain up to someone else's mind? If a robot takes your job, what will you do? What will be your purpose? These questions are for our generation that we need to work out now. And so, you know, I started out asking if you thought technology could help us or if it might harm us. For those of you who are working in technology, please understand the huge social implications and ethics of this technology and use it for good. For those of you who are suspicious of technology or may not work in it, I ask you to get involved. Like myself, I studied history and worked in the nonprofit sector. I started forming technology companies because I knew they could have an incredible social impact. So we need you also directing how these applications work. So I hope you will join me in this coming human revolution and make a world that works for everybody. Thank you.
Okay, my friends, what did you get from the video?
Well, teacher, I believe that technology has two faces of the penny, because how it can be used to increase your knowledge, can be used to create a bond as some psychopath. So I believe that we can not classify if it's a bad or if it's a good, because as I told you before, they have well, the technology has the two faces of the pen.
Okay, very good. So yeah, totally agree, right? So it's not evil, the technology, or not good. It depends on the people that use the technology.
Yeah. I guess that is the pen of the you use of the yep. I believe that can be is the pen of the use that you make for that.
That is it. That is good. So very good, perfect. Thank you, Jose Wilfredo. Any other comments or opinion about this video?
Okay. I didn't have access to the mic until now. Sorry.
No problem. That's fine.
Okay, it's a challenging situation because we don't not worry about technology. We need to worry about people. The problem is people. Always some system fail. Sometimes or many times or most of the times the fail is a human fail. And the problem is the human being. And there are so many good uses of technology, and there are another that not are so good. And but the reality is that the technology is here, and we need to deal. We need to maybe get some regulation, something like that. But we need to deal with technology. We need to improve the way that we use, and we need to prioritize the people that get the good uses, and they give the support that the people need to do the best thing, or to do this work the best work.
Okay, very good, perfect. So yes, totally agree as well. So yeah, the technology is not bad or not good. I mean, depends on the people that they use and what is the purpose of that one. You say something very interesting. So probably what we need is regulation, right? Um, you know, ethics is everywhere, and some of the things that we need to think about is that one. I mean, what is going to happen with this technology that I'm going to create? You know for sure that a lot of people might use that one for a good purpose, but some other people might use for a bad purpose. So, what kind of regulation can we have, not only for creation of new technology, but also for the usage of new technology? What do you think, everybody?
uh, is something difficult because uh, we don't know. We don't know where the technology goes. And if we do something to regulate now, maybe in the future, 2 or 3 years, there would be another regulation that we need to do. I think we need to go deeper, again, some good thinkers to think about that, because artificial intelligence is something that is wow, it's amazing, and at the same time, it's something that worries us, because like a teacher, we have so many problems. I was trying this day a site that it promised to detect if some word is created by some artificial intelligence, and I put a document created by the ChatGPT, and 99% of intelligence artificial. But then I put some of my writings, and the site said is 89% of was an artificial intelligence. It's difficult to get the discernment about who is who, but it's something difficult. And maybe we need to work in 2 directions. One direction is making the regulations. The other direction is, like you said, working in ethics, in all of the fields, in university, all of the students in the university, and schools, and religion, and we need to work in ethics to try to convince the people to work in a good way. And maybe like the driver's license, you can get suspended of if you are doing something wrong. I don't know how, but I think it can be possible that you don't have access to an internet. I don't know. Maybe it will be needed to create a digital ID. A digital ID that is related, but you can connect for every part. You need to put your digital ID, and then there is some that can identify you wherever you are. Something like that.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Many things might happen. I mean, in the future. I mean, yeah, to have a chip or to, I mean, I was reading, and I mean, there are many good things about that. I was reading that there was a girl that she was an arm implanted. You imagine, she got an accident and she got an arm from another person, and that she feels the arm different, uh, in some way. I mean, he can move her fingers and the hand and everything, but she felt a different thing. I mean, I don't know. It's quite strange how everything is going. The other thing that she said, I mean, that you can create a hamburger because you can grow meat. I mean, that is
Yes. I don't imagine how could it be done to grow meat. I can imagine. $1,000 was the first cost of the burger.
that's not good. I mean, yeah, and you think about that one. How was that created? What am I eating, right? Is this artificial? I mean, yes, nowadays we already eat a lot of artificial things. I mean, in beverages and juices, any bottle thing we drink, and we eat a lot of chemical things. But in mind that one, that I mean, eat meat, poultry that was growed in a laboratory. Well, that's kind of crazy, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It's something need to reflect.
Yeah, the world is moving very fast. So
Yes.
that is the thing. Another thing that she said, so you can also provide any opinion on that one, is, yeah, probably a lot of people, they are going to lose their jobs, right? I was reading yesterday, I guess I was reading that Bill Gates was saying that a lot of uh, a lot of professions are going to disappear. I was a little bit worried because he said that teachers are going to disappear, that you don't need teachers anymore. So probably you will be with a website there teaching you English, and that's it, right? So I mean, do you think that that will be possible, that some professions will disappear because of this in the future? What do you think, everybody?
It is interesting. I told my student, you don't need me. You don't need me because all of the knowledge is in the internet. You don't need me. If you want to learn factoring, you can go to a video, you can go artificial intelligence, and you can learn how factoring, how I don't know, whatever in math they need. But something that a specialist has said is that it is impossible. There is one specialist says that human behavior, it is impossible to emulate the human touch. All of the people need the human touch. Maybe, of course, some teacher will be fired, maybe, but they don't. They can fire every teacher because it's needed. Maybe we go back to the previous stage when one teacher teach everything because they don't need to know. They only need to know where are that information. But the human touch is so important in relation, in the life. And it is important to, it is impossible to get out of human touch. We need the human touch. Like human, we need another human.
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree on what you say. I mean, it's not the same. I mean, for example, imagine that we're here in these classes, and probably if I were a machine, I will go and teach you exactly what it says in the book, maybe set a joke, something like that. But here we are reflecting, right? Thinking about that one. And I reflect on what you say, and you also mirror what I'm saying. So at least at this point, or and maybe in a long time, it's not going to be possible. We don't know what's going to happen, let's say in 50 years. I don't know if it's going to be possible then that machines or computers reflect in a way a human does. I mean, everything is possible, right? But we've been dreaming about flying cars for a long time, and that has never happened. We have the technology right now. There are vehicles that can fly, but I mean, we're still here waiting for that to happen. So maybe, yes, it's going to happen, but it's not going to happen very, very soon. So it's going to take a long, long time. Very good. Perfect. Thank you. And any other comment about the video? Anything else that catch your attention? Nothing at all. You are very shy today. All right.
Regarding the professions, you've been asking if they will disappear. I think the first we are looking at disappearing is waitresses. I don't know if it's real or what. I don't know. There was a video that suddenly came up when I was navigating through Facebook. And it says that in Texas, I don't remember if it's in Word, I don't remember the name. There is a McDonald's that now there's no human beings attending there. There are some robots, computers. You have a halls to walk in, or you can pick up with your vehicle, etc. I don't remember if it was in workforce, but it was something coming up. But yes, you can see there is this robot. I haven't seen it, but I saw the news. In this hospital, I don't remember, here in El Salvador, there is a machine that is delivering papers, right? Or assisting people with instructions where they need to go, if they are looking for a specific doctor or to be examined. So this machine, this robot, guide them. So I think service will be the most impacted first with all the artificial intelligence. And yes, we can be not supplanted. I don't know if it's correct to say that.
Replaced.
Replace. Okay, we will be replaced because most of the process or professions won't exist because you no longer need them.
Very true. So yes, imagine in the profession we are right now. I mean, we already have companies, websites, things like that one that have like a chatbot, right? You enter, I need support, and they go out, what kind of support do you need, and they answer some questions. So in the future with artificial intelligence, probably people or companies are not going to need call centers anymore. So they prefer.
You can experience it nowadays when you contact, for example, for me it's like awful, but whenever you contact, for example, this chat for the Bank of America, they the one saying hello is it says it's a chatbot. And the same happen. Most of them they use chatbot, and the frustrating part of this is that after you pass or all the possible solutions or answer that you can be until that point at the end, when you don't find the answer, they offer you to talk with a human being.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
So this is happening right now, but imagine how it's going to be in 5 years, for example. That,
I don't want to imagine.
yeah. So if we are able to ask a question to the chat GPT right now and they are very accurate, is it possible the company they train and they enter all the information that they have for a little website to handle those kind of things,
That's
right? So probably it's not that it's going to, as David said, that it's going to disappear. Maybe some channels are going to disappear, and then they say, okay, for this process, you need to go and speak with the person. But with this other process, fill this form, and that's it, right? So that probably that's going to happen. So good, perfect. Thank you for sharing. Any other comment or opinion with the video? Okay, let's watch another video. Today we are speaking about technology.
Now that we're 2/3 of the way through 2020, we thought it was about time to make a video about the future. Until recently, they used to make science fiction movies about the year we are in now, movies with robots and flying cars. Okay, they didn't predict coronavirus, but neither did any of us. Anyway, we figured you've had enough of hearing about the coronavirus right now, so we thought we'd stick to the robots and flying cars, and other mind-blowing technologies that are already changing the world, or about to change it. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing out. First up, number 1, artificial intelligence. Yep, we promised we'd give you robots, and we don't like to disappoint. The robots we're talking about don't look like the ones from Star Wars. Lots of them, like Alexa and Siri, you can't even see because they're a computer program. What makes them robots is the fact they can take data, analyze it, and learn from it, and keep on getting more intelligent. Or the ones on Google and Facebook that figure out what ads they should make pop up on your screen. And for when you actually leave your living room, robots are already helping us build stuff in factories, analyze financial reports, act as virtual nurses for patients. In the future, we could be talking about robots we have in our houses that will be able to cook for us, do all kinds of boring jobs. And outside of our houses, doing dangerous ones like fighting fires or picking up radioactive waste. And a whole load of other things we'll get into later in the video. That's because AI is already combining with pretty much every recent technology, and it's only going to keep on doing that. Number 2, brain-computer interfaces. Imagine being able to control a computer mouse and a keyboard or a drone with not a set of controls, but just by thinking about it, or hearing music not from speakers, but that's being streamed straight into your brain. Maybe that thought blows your mind, or perhaps it even creeps you out. Either way, it's already being developed and it's coming soon. And leading the way is Elon Musk's company Neuralink, which is looking at ways to implant a chip into your brain that will be able to communicate with computers. And just in case you thought we made the thing up about streaming music directly to your brain, that actually came from a tweet on Elon Musk's Twitter feed. If the thought creeps you out a bit, you're not alone, but the idea behind it is to help humans compete with super intelligent robots, and it also aims to cure disorders like depression and addiction by rewiring brain patterns. Number 3. 3D printing. But Alux, this is old news. Well, yes, but it's about to go to a whole new level. Of course, we're not just talking about those craft videos that come up on your Facebook feed with decorations people have made with 3D printing. 3D printing fashion accessories, even car parts, is kinda old school now. More cutting edge are 3D printed organs that use patient cells, which will mean they don't have to wait for an organ donor. In China, they've 3D printed an entire apartment block, and the future of 3D printed buildings could bring down the price of housing and solve the problem of homelessness. Also, 3D printed rockets could be on the way too. NASA's already made a 3D printed rocket injector, and a California-based company, Relativity Space, aims to make the first fully 3D printed space rockets for a fraction of what they cost now. And by throwing a bit of AI into the mix, the technology will be able to detect faults in the design and improve on them. But they're not there yet. First, they need to figure out how to 3D print something that's 100 feet tall and out of a material that can withstand the temperatures of takeoff. Number 4. Living robots. Next, a completely different kind of robot. No, not one that's so cute it makes you think it's alive. If you remember Tamagotchis, we're not talking about those. These so-called living robots are made of a real living tissue and could revolutionize medicine. Scientists have taken stem cells from frogs, and they've used computer programs to assemble them into blobs, about 1 millimeter in diameter. They're not robots as we know them, and even though they come from living tissue, they're not classed as animals either. They're tiny, programmable organisms that can move independently and can even work together as a team. They might even be able to self-heal their wounds, remove plaque from human arteries, or take medicine into patients' bodies. It's fascinating stuff. Number 5. Augmented reality. If you've played Pokemon Go, you've already used AR, but chasing Pokemon is just the tip of the iceberg with this exciting technology, and the boundaries are just going to keep growing. Overlaying digital images onto real-life backgrounds could have all kinds of applications in the future, like AR manuals. Think of the last time you had to fix a car engine but weren't sure what you had to do. Forget looking for a tutorial on YouTube. Soon enough, you might be able to put on a pair of AR glasses or contact lenses and then look at the engine. With the help of a bit of AI, the software will analyze the problem and then show you exactly what you have to do, and then give you feedback on whether you're doing it right. How about a city guide that doesn't just show you the best restaurants and nightlife on a map, but will point it out to you in real time with menus and reviews appearing next to them? And instead of seeing advertising billboards in the city, your AR glasses will show you virtual adverts tailored for you, which means it's got big potential for advertising as well. Or what about doing some online shopping for clothes and see yourself wearing them, even though you've never been anywhere near them? Getting a preview of how furniture will look in your room, even though it's still in the warehouse, or conference calling someone on the other side of the world and having them appear on your couch. And these are just a few things AR could be bringing to us soon. Number 6. Tactile virtual reality. For any gamers out there, you'll know when you get hit in a game and you feel a dull thud from your control panel. That is this concept, tactile or haptic feedback, but it's about to be taken to a whole new level. Imagine the same idea but in a bodysuit with sense transmitters all over it. It'll mean that your VR experience lets you feel the experience, as well as see and hear it. Bodysuits like these that let you feel as well as see and hear virtual worlds are already on the market, and they have uses in sports training, rehabilitation, and gaming too. The technology is also being tested for training surgeons. In simulation programs for practicing complicated surgery, it helps to be able to feel resistance of body tissues when they're being cut into or sewn. Programs that can do this make the training more realistic and are already in development. Number 7. Self-driving vehicles. Yes, thanks to Tesla, self-driving vehicles are already on the market, but what's being done so far is only the tip of the iceberg. For Tesla and other companies, the goal is level 5 automation. That means there's no steering wheel or pedals. The passenger just inputs where they want to go, and the car does all the work. That means we could be looking at a future where most people don't own a car. Instead, there are just fleets of self-driving vehicles on the road, which you just jump into and enjoy the ride. Not so great if you love being behind the wheel yourself, but it promises to reduce congestion and pollution, and it could make parking lots obsolete and free up that space for other uses. And speaking of self-driving vehicles, why stop at cars? In Dubai, the world's first autonomous drone taxis are in development. The company that's developing them, Volocopter, aims to launch them by 2023, and they estimate that by 2030, a quarter of journeys in Dubai will be done by drone taxi. Number 8. Hyperloop. When it comes to transport of the future, if drone taxis aren't exciting enough for you, maybe this will be. Imagine doing long-distance journeys at a speed even faster than a jet plane, but without having to be airborne, and potentially with zero carbon impact. Well, that's something Elon Musk is working on. It's a joint project between Tesla and SpaceX, and it's called the Hyperloop. It works by placing a pod inside a tunnel with low air pressure, and as the air resistance and friction are low, it can travel at hypersonic speeds. In testing, they've reached 460 kilometers per hour. They aim to get that up to 1,200 kilometers per hour. That's faster than a commercial jet. Oh, and Elon tells us it'll work even better on Mars, where there'll be no need for a tunnel because there's almost no atmosphere there. Good to know. Number 9. Hydrogen power. The hunt is on for alternatives to fossil fuels and a carbon-neutral future. Everybody with common sense knows it's the way forward, apart from people working for oil companies or whose election campaigns are funded by them. We've all heard about electric cars, but another option that doesn't pollute is hydrogen power. Hydrogen fuel cells to power engines have been around for a while. In 2015, Toyota produced a car that runs on hydrogen, the Mirai, and by the end of 2019, they'd only sold 10,000 of them. Not a huge number. That's because there are still problems to deal with before hydrogen really takes off. First, even if hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe, it's still difficult to put it into pure form. That makes it expensive. By the mile, it's about 4 times as expensive as gasoline. Second, it's highly flammable, which makes it dangerous. Yes, gasoline is also flammable, but not as difficult or dangerous to store as hydrogen. And this makes the technology more expensive, and a hydrogen vehicle costs about twice as much as a comparable vehicle that runs on gas. But the search is on to make hydrogen more available, safer, and cheaper, and if we can do all that, hydrogen could be the power of the future. Number 10. Energy storing bricks. If you think you've got too many wires in your house, this one could be for you, because soon enough, instead of having your electricity coming through wires, it could be stored in the bricks in your walls. Combine that with a few solar panels on your roof, and we could be looking at steps toward carbon-neutral living. And we're talking about regular building bricks, the world's most familiar building material, just ones that have been modified by scientists. The fact they contain iron oxide, that's also the chemical that makes them red, allows them to do this. They're rechargeable. And there's also talk about them being able to directly turn the sun's heat into energy. That would mean you wouldn't even need a solar panel on your roof. The science on this is still in its early stages, but a proof-of-concept brick has been developed at the University of St. Louis in Washington. What's more, as well as storing energy, it can even power small devices. Handy Lexers, that's a wrap for today. Which of these technologies do you think is the most exciting? Let us know in the comments. And of course, for sticking with us until the end, what does that mean? You get a bonus, of course. Here it is. Quantum computing. There's more to the future of computing than Apple coming out with Macs that are thinner and thinner and shinier and shinier. There's a completely different kind of computer which is still in its very early days, but it does promise to revolutionize computers in a way that's still hard to fathom. We're talking about quantum computers. Basically, they calculate stuff a lot faster than normal computers, like 100 million times faster, and they do it by using quantum mechanics. That means instead of regular bits, they use quantum bits, also known as qubits. These things behave strangely and, unlike regular bits, can represent a 0 and a 1 at the same time. Confused? Well, we are too a little bit, and we'll be honest, quantum mechanics isn't really one of ALUX's areas of expertise. But we will tell you what quantum computers could mean. On a basic level, super complicated calculations will be done in a fraction of a second. They'll be able to give us data encryption with near-perfect security, give accurate weather predictions, help scientists discover miracle materials and miracle cures for diseases, and even revolutionize our understanding of many branches of science. To say this one could be a game changer is putting it lightly. Remember though, quantum computers are still in their infancy, but there are signs of moving forward. Google already has a quantum computer, and last year made a quantum leap forward when it took just 200 seconds to solve a problem that was considered virtually impossible. The world's most powerful computers, the ones that aren't quantum, would have taken 10,000 years to finish it, and that one did it in 200 seconds. Crazy. Thanks for watching this video, ALUXers. If you learned something today, hit the like button and subscribe for more valuable content every single day. See you tomorrow, ALUXers.
Okay. Which one do you find interesting? Why? Do you believe some of them or all of them are possible in the future? What do you think about?
It's so overwhelming. That situation. I read about a year ago, so no, maybe more, 3 years ago, before pandemic time, that the US have a gun that can be operated by the eye movement. You move the eye and then operate the gun in the planes or in the copters, the choppers. But now it's a brain to computer communication. Wow, it's something. Wow, it explodes your mind because it's there are you need to deal with so many things. We are like in the 900s, in the beginning of the 20th century, with the old shape people confronting with the TV, with the airplane, with so many inventions, and it was overwhelming for them, and now it's for us. That technology is wow. Some of them, even movies don't work on that, or that they are so revolutionary that there are no movies, or unless I didn't see, but it's extraordinary, the things. I like that part, brain to computer communication, because sometimes in my case, I think so fast, maybe because I am used to do math problem, and when I'm solving a problem, I set a number, but my brain thinking the answer, and I write the answer and not the number. And the student said me, "Hey, teacher, you are wrong." No, I am thinking faster than you. But my brain go into the answer, and I am writing the numbers, but I write the answer. And if we can communicate brain to computer, is something so fast that it's overwhelming, really.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, many of those things I believe that probably is going to be possible in the next years. Some of those may be more. And that actually is something very interesting, but also kind of strange. Imagine if somebody hacks you. I mean, that can be a big problem, right? So somebody hacks the way that you think or the way that you act. I mean, that is very dangerous. I don't know exactly how it's going to be in the future. Probably it's not going to be able to handle your whole body just because of the chip. But if they actually can connect a chip with the brain, it's just a matter of time for them to tell you how to think and how to act, right? So that,
Yes.
yeah, they won't try to convince you anymore. They you just will tell you do this and you will do it, and that's it, right? It's crazy. Very good. Any other comment or opinion? What was your favorite and why?
For me, teacher, it was good to hear that the 3D printing can build a house and how in the future they plan like to build houses and decrease the cost of the houses because, for example, here in El Salvador, houses are very expensive. So imagine to create a house and sell that houses like an lower price than the other. I don't know how safe it will be in this weather, tropical weather with the rain and with the heat and all the stuff. But it could be a way to have a house. I don't know, but it's interesting.
Very good, perfect. So yeah, that is a very good one. 3D printing. I mean, actually nowadays you can buy a 3D printing. Of course, you can buy like toys or plastic pieces or anything like that one. But maybe in the future we will be able to print anything, right? You just go to the computer and say, I'm gonna print this. Probably a lot of people are going to be working on that one. So to create like patterns, to create like figures, so you can just download the pattern and print that one. So um, maybe some professions are going to not disappear but decrease, but other professions are going to come as well, right? So that is a good job to create patterns, to upload those so anybody can just download that one and print it. So it will be a very good thing. And yeah, for the organs, I mean, they already can do that one, right? They can print organs, so they are 100% compatible with your body. So that is a very good thing. They are going to save a lot of lives. Perfect. Any other comment or opinion on the videos? Which one was your favorite and why? What do you think? Nobody else is. Everybody's busy today. Yeah. Okay. All right, let me check what would be the. This is a good one. Let's check into this one.
Hello. Thanks for coming today. So we are currently going through a revolutionary shift. First, there was the Industrial Revolution, then there was the mass media revolution, and now we are in the digital revolution. If you think about it, advertising, it stayed relatively the same for about 50 years until the internet and social media came and disrupted it. I mean, when is really like the last time that you bought something because you saw a newspaper ad or a billboard? Now, advertisers are spending their money towards platforms like YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. And on top of these platforms, we have these things called influencers. Now, you might be wondering like, well, what is an influencer, Rachel? Well, simply put, an influencer is just Someone like you and me, except for they choose to consistently post stuff online. This could be on Instagram, on YouTube, and it can be in the niche of their choice. So this could be beauty tutorials or comedy skits or these things called vlogs. If you don't know what a vlog is, people literally film just their life, like drinking soup, and you find it entertaining. And somehow they've amassed a huge following and have become an influencer. So if you're wondering maybe why your kids are glued to YouTube, this is why. And this is the world that I work in. So currently, influencer marketing is a $4.5 billion industry, and it's projected to be a $10 billion industry by 2020. So what is happening is these brands, they're realizing, wow, this is a highly effective way to market to millennials. The problem is it's virtually the Wild West. When it comes to regulations, procedures, rates, measuring ROI, all these things, we're figuring it out as I speak on this stage. So a little bit of background on myself. My name is Rachel David. I run a company called #Communications. It's an influencer marketing company, and it's been around for about 2 years. In the past 2 years, we've done over $1 million worth of brand deals with top creators in the world and top brands. Now, not only is that in one place, no, we work with companies in Asia, in Europe, in America, and each place deals with influencers a little bit differently. So during this talk, I hope that I can share with you some of the craziness I've seen, this unique perspective I've had, and equip you with ways that you can utilize influencers to your advantage, or at the very least, just make you look a little bit cooler amongst the millennials in your life. So, I believe that influencers are really applicable to anyone trying to get attention on anything. Over the past 5 years, we have seen businesses virtually transform, especially in the e-commerce space, thanks to influencers. I read this stat that 70% of purchase decisions by millennials are made from a peer recommendation, which makes sense because, like, if I am gonna go get laser hair removal, I'm gonna go ask my friend and be like, well, where did you go get it? Because I'm not just gonna like look at it. I wouldn't even look at a Facebook ad for a laser hair removal recommendation. And then I read the stat that 60% of in-store purchase decisions are influenced by something that someone has seen on a social media post or a blog post. Like 60%, that's really high. But if you think about why that is, on average, millennials are spending 9 hours on social media a day. So oftentimes what is happening is these YouTubers they're watching are starting to become their friends more so than their real life friends. So I read this case study about these two founders. Their names are Nick and Alex. They are the founders of Hi Smile. You might have seen it. It's a teeth whitening product. You might have seen Instagram models taking a picture with it. It's very photographable. So these young founders created this product, and I read the headline, Kylie Jenner helped two 20-something-year-olds turn a few $1,000s into a $40 million business. I was like, oh God, let me read more. And then I read, within 18 months, they did $10 million in sales. So I was like, okay, well, how did you do this? Well, what they did is they actually, yes, it's a very millennial product, but they took a really millennial approach to their marketing. They started off by utilizing these mid-level and micro influencers. They started generating more sales. Eventually, they were able to save up enough money to then do a brand deal with Kylie Jenner, the big kahuna. When she put it online, it went out to 75 million of her followers at the time. She's a little bit higher now. And their sales skyrocketed. So I often get asked, what is the difference between a celebrity and an influencer? And it's really just one word, my friends, and that's relatability. People love that these influencers, that they're uncensored and they're unscripted, and every now and then they'll just drop the F-bomb. And I know you might be thinking, but Kylie Jenner, she is a celebrity. And I agree, but you have to think about, what is she famous for? Like, she's not famous for singing a song. She's not famous for playing a character that you fell in love with. She's not famous for dribbling a ball down the court. No, she's literally famous for her personality. Yes, it started off on a reality show, but then she took that, she started posting consistently online to the point where millions of people followed, were engaged, they got to know, love, and trust her, to the point where just recently Forbes put her on the cover and they named her one of the youngest billionaires in the world. She just made $900 million in 3 years off of her Kylie Cosmetics line. That's pretty insane. If you look at the data, really only 3% of consumers are influenced by a celebrity endorsement when it comes to their product purchase decisions, which actually makes sense, because when I am looking at Jennifer Aniston on the TV, and she is promoting Aveeno, I'm like, how dumb do you think I am? Like, really? Like, I know that you were airbrushed for 3 hours, and then you probably got some weird vampire facial with your Hollywood friends that I am not gonna go and get. So, I'm not buying it. Sorry if you're watching, Jennifer. I mean, you could. No, I wanna watch somebody who's like me promoting a product. Now, not only is influencer marketing applicable to brands, I do believe it's applicable to people, so this is where you come in. Ask any millennial if they're trying to build up their Instagram right now, and they're probably gonna say yes. And that's not something to be looked down on. If anything, they know more than anybody that building a personal brand today is more important than ever when it comes to things like accessibility, opportunities, job employment. Before I started my company, I basically made YouTube videos. I took a whole year off. I made YouTube videos with no intention of really doing anything. I just wanted to share my life, vlogs, those things we were talking about. And I ended up, garnering an audience and growing that. So then by the time that I actually did have this idea that I was gonna start this company, I immediately had a customer base, I immediately had clients, because they grew with me, they trusted me, and they were like, oh, yeah, okay, well, Rachel is talking, she's doing this thing, why don't we use her? To this day, I haven't had to spend any money at all on marketing. To this day, I haven't had to spend a penny on marketing. So personal brands are important, and part of that puzzle piece is growing your audience. So how do you do it? So one way you can is utilize an influencer. So say that you have a vegan Instagram page that you want to grow. You would go and you could actually pay a bigger influencer in your niche to shout you out. And these shout outs are how a lot of people are growing really quickly. So one of the most interesting discoveries that we're going to be faced with is in the next 20 years when Generation Z grows up. And I often get asked by concerned parents, what do you think is going to happen? The thing is I don't know. Like, I'll be the first one to admit that I think that there should be more kids outside playing with a ball. But I am happy to say, if we're relating this to marketing, on the regulation front, we are putting stricter rules in place. So part of what I do is I'm involved with the Ad Standards Council, and we come up with decisions of how people are going to be consuming branded content. So for example, you might see influencers posting on Instagram, and they post something and it'll say hashtag ad at the bottom. This is now required to put a hashtag ad or disclose if it's hashtag sponsored. Or if you're watching a YouTube video, in the first 30 seconds, they do need to disclose if it is sponsored by a brand. Now, of course, there's still things that we do need to figure out. And just a couple days ago, I was watching a video and I saw that Jake Paul actually put out a video that was 13 minutes long, and 7 minutes of that was upselling to kids, advertising his products to kids. Well, there's rules around that in broadcasting. Like, you're only allowed to market to kids, like 20% of your program can be marketing to kids. This had almost like 50% marketing to kids. So do we still have a long way to go? Yes, but it's like I'm saying, it is the Wild West right now. But we are taking it one day at a time, and we will get there. So lastly, we gotta talk about the money. Everyone wants to talk about the money. And I think that there's this stigma attached to influencers and that they're all these like young millionaires and that they get paid too much. And hey, Jake Paul, I mean, I just saw him say it. He's like, I made $50 million this year. And I'm like, good on you. So there's this stigma, and people think that these kids are riding around their Lambos and they all have pet monkeys, but I assure you that 99% of them do not. I actually do a podcast every week where I interview an influencer, a creator, and we talk about how they make money online and their different revenue streams. And a lot of them are just trying to sustain making content as their full-time job. What I want you to keep in mind is not only did the advertising industry change, no, the entertainment industry changed as well. You know, advertisers, they had bigger budgets to go and make commercials. It was like 5 times the amount that they have now. And then even on the entertainment industry front, there were bigger grants, there were bigger bursaries, there was a support system, a much bigger one for artists. So now, when you look at an influencer who's doing a sponsored post, they're essentially getting 2 for 1 for a fraction of the price. So relatively, they're not actually getting paid that much. These creators, they are on-camera talent, they are directing, they are producing, they are lighting, they're doing their makeup, they're, you know, editing, their management, they're their admin, and they are their distribution. I mean, I work for a broadcaster. That is something, actually getting it out to an audience and putting it on camera. So if you see a sponsored post by a creator that you like, don't roll your eyes. If anything, this is the time that you should actually go and interact because, and show your support. Because when you actually like, you know, say there's something sponsored, if you even just like that post, you know that that's when the brand is actually looking at their stuff. So it means a lot to a creator. They're already feeling a little bit self-conscious of how are you gonna react to it. But if you like it, then the brand sees that and then they might wanna do another deal with them and then you get more content. So if you see an affiliate link, and you need that product anyways, use it. If you see a promo code, you know, use that. If you see even a YouTube video, and you know how sometimes, I mean, I know it's annoying. You watch and in the middle of a video, there's an ad, but when you watch that full video through, they get paid a little bit more. And what you're doing is you're really helping these highly creative people build their lives so they can make more content for your enjoyment. So in closing, I'm gonna keep it super short. To recap, influencers, they're not going anywhere. Number 2, stop picking on your kids. Number 3, support the influencers in your life. And number 4, have a great fucking day. Thank you.
Okay, what do you think about influencers and things like that?
Well, teacher, in my opinion, I believe that the influencers need to have education because some of them in the quality are millennial without education or only use a whole language that they're following as this current. In some cases, they transmit a flat message. Also, I believe that this because they don't have the how to create an ad. And also maybe they're following by all teenagers or maybe for the people without education that may only follow about things. Even in my criteria, and for one person with education, that content will be with one person with education, maybe that content could be disgusting or irrelevant. So I believe that they need to have more education and also need to study something to create a good ad or something like that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you are right. You know, sometimes they just say jokes and Their content sometimes is not that good. Problem is not only that the content that they make. The problem is that a lot of people they follow them, right? They impose that one. They are pushing and giving money to them. So it's something that I just don't get it, to be honest. I just it's one of the things that I don't like. I don't follow any follower. It doesn't matter which country they are, because I mean it's the same. You know, in the video she says something. Jennifer Aniston, she's providing a commercial, and I'm not buying just because you say it. But it's the same with the influencers. I mean, just because you say that, I won't buy that thing. I mean, I will buy something that I'm interested in. I will research about the product and things like that. But nowadays, speaking about the world we're living in, people actually they purchase products of that one. I mean, statistics say that one. So whenever an influencer, or the bigger the influencer, more selling they're gonna make. So it's not only the problem about the content they make. It's also about the people that are following that one. So it's a big, for me, it's a big problem. I know that for people is for that kind of people, it's a big opportunity. They taking advantage of that.
Yeah, that's right.
Very good,
They take
perfect.
advantage in other kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that people that they work very hard, they have basic things, and sometimes they have luxury cars and things that one just because they're dancing there, or they're, I don't know, creating content that is not high quality. So it doesn't make any sense. But anyways, that's the world we're living in, right? Good, perfect. Any other comment about influencers and how they have changed the world?
Definitely is it's a new way, it's a new world, and there are something that I think nobody expected, because in the past, for to be an influencer, you need to be a good sportsman, a good artist, or a good fighter, something like that. Not only good, but excellent. But now there are a lot of situations that some guys playing video games, another doing awful jokes, and another dancing some strain. uh, uh, but is another way that we even don't imagine it, but it's here, and we need to deal with that. And obviously the marketing is about people, and if this guy or this girl have people, well, pay something for for marketing. And then uh, the word is a little crazy, but it's something that we need to think about, and we need to reflect about, because if we are only in our world, we need to think out the box, and we need to think how this situation we can use for something good. Uh, I don't know if we have access to social media. We can do something in social media, maybe not to reach the potential of influencer, because when you are serious and we are trying to teach something, and nobody likes, nobody like, the people like something that is crazy, and that is strange, and something like that. But I think there is more space. There is more space to do things, and to get out the box, and to maybe get some fullness or some realization in our life. Is a new thing. I mean, before we only to be an artist was impossible. To be a sport, good in sports, soccer or football or something like that, it was impossible. But this is not impossible. This is something that can be done. And there are many suggestions that you can use artificial intelligence to create some content and get published in something, and you get at least a group of followers, and you make an influence in the world or in the people near to you. I think we need to try to use in a good way, because we don't go against that, because it's here.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that is here already. We need to live with that one. I mean, I have seen, for example, how the news has changed. I mean, in the past, it was only important regular news, right? Something happened in the countryside, politics, economy. But now, I mean, sometimes the top news are somebody got divorced, right? It's like,
Yes.
I just don't care. Well, for me, it's not important, but a lot of people really care about that. Or, I mean, uh, there are people that they get famous out of nothing. And what you say is something important. I mean, it's something that you can do. Anybody can do that. Anybody can just sit down in a computer, learn how to use a camera, edit a video that nowadays is very easy with the technology. Okay, and say some jokes, and people are going to like on that one and follow you, and that's it. I mean, you're making money. So it's something very simple, sometimes a little bit sad, but I mean, it's for the people that are earning money, it's a good job, right? So maybe a little bit impacted, because I was also reading for some people in the past that they get also stressed out, and uh, they get depressed sometimes, because when they upload a video and people don't like and they don't follow them anymore, they feel depressed. They feel like, I mean, they don't like me anymore, and sometimes they are pushed to do something different, something crazier. So it's strange. It's very strange. Very, very weird.
Gerard, I don't know if a psychologist or psychiatry in Spain, Marian Rojas Estapé, that she write a good book. It's a very good book. Is how to do or how to make the good things happen to you. It's a very good book. And she talk about a patient that he attended, he received in his clinic, and this was an influencer. An influencer. It was in a bad mood, in a critical way. He lost her mind. Some difficult thinking because the pressure of the media is so strong for she, and she was crying. She was crying, and at the specific hour, at 3 o'clock, something like that, at the specific hour, she asked to the doctor to use her bathroom, and she went and get prepared and go out and said, "This is the time I need to publish something on Instagram." And he is smiling like I am in a good mood. And at the same time, thousands of comment, you are a nice girl, you are, but all of them is a fake, because the girl is so depressed. It's a good, a deep crisis, and the doctor is treating them. But that is that is something complicated.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. I mean, yes, people they have to know how to do a lot of things: edit, makeup, illumination, uh, a lot of things. And at the end, the most important is the followers, right? And they are depressed. And I believe that is the same as an artist, right? A singer. that they release an album and it's not good anymore, they don't sell anything. Yeah, that impacts your life. So, and it's causing new kinds of sicknesses. I mean, not only mental, but also physical problems. Yeah, it's a huge thing actually. Yeah, I'm wondering what's going to happen in the future. I mean, I remember
Yes.
when I remember when Kardashians they were famous, and I was wondering why are they famous? I mean, it says here in the video. I mean, they're famous just because a lot of people like to see them, and that's it, right? So, and I with my mom, I remember I used to watch the show like I saw it like 3 times. For me, it was not relevant just to see them go here buying things, discuss things. I don't know, something's wrong, I say, and I still think about that one. But they, I mean, nowadays they grow. I mean, a lot of people are doing this one, and probably this is going to continue happening for a long, long time.
Yes.
Good, perfect, thank you. Do you guys follow anybody? Do you follow a person that, I mean, uploads videos or content or anything like that?
I follow a specific page about how to deal with the back pain, and there are good contents, what kind of exercise you need to do if you have a problem in your shoulder or in your leg or something like that. I like this page because with the age we go to the Neverland Earth. You start experiencing some kind of pain that you don't know in the past, and you need to be prepared. And I like this page because it's about exercising, and page about technology, but a specific technology, not only one advice how to get the most of WhatsApp. No, page about the technology, deep in technology, but not a specific person or specific topics or subjects.
Okay. Very good. That is something I was going to tell you as well. I mean, there are good things. There are things that are very interesting. I don't follow influencers, but yes, I follow some channels in YouTube or in Instagram. So with tips for cooking or places to go or maybe yeah, science. I really love science. With my son, sometimes we watch things about the universe and interesting facts about a country, things like that one. So not everything's bad, right? So yeah, you can find a very good content there. I mean, I have learned many things, right? It's not just a joke, but there are some channels, there are some people that they are creating valuable content. So that is good. Anybody else's follow anybody, any channel or any person? Nobody. Yeah, you're too shy today. Let's watch the last video for tonight. This is a different one, not related to technology, but I found it interesting. So
If I get a phone, I won't look at it all night like you do.
You are 8 years old. I don't know who you think you're gonna call.
Phoebe, you know how to argue.
Yes, she does.
I'm having a moment with you, and you're laughing at me.
Welcome to Spirited Debates. Introduce yourselves, tell us a little about the dispute.
I'm Erin, I'm Phoebe's mom. We are here to argue about when Phoebe should get a cell phone.
Now I'm at the right age to do it.
How old are you, Phoebe?
I'm 8.
Okay, I am going to turn to our judges.
Hey guys, I'm Sebastian.
I'm LL Royale.
My name's Joe. I'm a high school teacher, so I spend a lot of time debating with students about their cell phone use, so I'm excited to see how this goes.
What's at stake here?
If Phoebe wins, she will get a cell phone within the month. If Phoebe loses, she has to wait 2 years.
Each of you will have 3 rounds. Loser of round 1 gets sprayed with a squirt gun by their opponent during round 2.
Squirt,
Face,
squirt.
as you deliver your argument.
Serious?
I would like to hear your side first.
Ooh, okay. Phoebe, you are 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who you think you're gonna call that you can't get a hold of on my phone or your iPad. You have ways that you can contact people without actually having a cell phone. 8 seems a little bit on the young side.
Okay, thank you. I feel I should get a cell phone because what if I'm lost? What if I'm lost and I don't know anybody? This is your rule, stranger danger. And also, like, what if, like, Valentina's sick? Valentina's my best friend. And we're on, like, a trip to Costa Rica. And I couldn't bring my iPad. What would I do to call Valentina?
Wow, okay. Judges.
Parent to parent. 8 is too young. However, Phoebe, you know how to argue.
Yes, she does.
You don't want a phone to play around. You about business, so I'm gonna have to get this round to Phoebe.
I'm gonna give round 1 to Aaron. Aaron's arguments are grounded more in reality and less in hypotheticals. You make a very good point about the portability of the phone, but I don't know how soon you're going to Costa Rica.
1-1. Sebastian, break the tie.
I'm gonna have to go with Phoebe as well. What if Valentina gets sick? She made some very good points, so I'm gonna have to give the round to Phoebe.
Aaron, you lost that first round.
I know.
Okay, bring out the squirt gun.
This is gonna be fun. Thank you.
Phoebe, you gotta be kind to your mom.
Of
I feed
course
you
I
meals,
will.
I buy you clothes.
You yell at me.
Loser of this round will argue the next with their speech impaired. Okay, I'm gonna start the timer in 3, 2, 1, go.
To address Phoebe's argument, we don't have plans to go to Costa Rica anytime soon. Watch the bangs, girl. I don't believe that she would ever be in a position where she wouldn't have a cell phone nearby that an adult would be holding where Valentina's mom couldn't call. So I don't know that that's a good enough argument.
Okay, Phoebe.
So if I get a phone, here are the ground rules. Don't have any access to Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. You get to see all the apps and games I get. When I go to bed, I'll have it plugged in the living room, and I won't look at it all night like you do. And those are my statements.
Judges.
I want to agree with you, Aaron, so bad I do. Of course an 8-year-old should not have a phone. But then you hear the 8-year-old's points. I'm gonna have to give this to Phoebe again.
As a debate judge, I can't in good conscience go against this massive round from Phoebe. I mean, she had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new arguments on the board, untouched, of all of these ground rules. So I gotta go with Phoebe.
Phoebe did have a lot of bullet points and rules that she set for herself, so I'm gonna have to side with Phoebe on this one.
All right, Phoebe wins that round. Aaron, you get the next challenge.
Okay.
Can we bring out the thing?
The what? Okay, like this?
You look hilarious.
I'll start the timer as soon as you start talking.
Okay. I don't know that I want her to access the internet around the clock. I think it's nice to have time away from a screen. I'm worried that with too much technology in front, I worry that she's going to lose her childhood. I want you to be a kid. Because I worry about you losing that. And I want you to be a kid as long as you can be. I'm having a moment with you, and you're laughing at me.
I'm sorry, Mom.
I don't want you to grow up too fast. I love you, and I'm trying to be a good mom. I'm like drooling. This is gross. It's brutal.
Phoebe, are you ready to give your case?
Yes, I am. So first, I want to comment on my mom's thinking, you can totally be like, Phoebe, you're outside, I'll go outside. You know you can trust me with this stuff, and I'm here for you. Also, I would like to say some more things. First, family plan, wherever you have it. Second, you can take some money out of my saving account. And also, I need to learn to be independent. That is my statement. Thank you.
That was an incredibly impassioned argument from you, Aaron. I don't know, I found it truly heart-touching. But if I'm gonna score it like a straight-up debate judge, I see more arguments from Phoebe that weren't addressed. So I'm gonna give this win to Phoebe. Well argued, Phoebe.
Phoebe, you had me.
Thank you.
As mature and as bright and as beautiful and as wonderful of a young lady as you are, I have to side with your mom about preserving your childhood.
Well, Aaron tried it because I almost started crying and my mascara almost ran. So commend for that. Your mom really took me over, girl. So I'm gonna have to side with your mom on this one.
My mom won?
Your mom won.
What? May I say one more word about my
I'll
mom's
let you have one
speeches?
more word.
Okay. Thank you for letting me be a child, and I love you so much.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, what do you think about this?
Wow, something confusing because uh, I remember the old things in my grandparents told me that the dirty clothes are washed in home. And you don't need to expose your inner things, your private life. But I think that this is for money, and it's something. In this case, it's something very nice. But I think not all the events are like this, because this girl is amazing. The little girl is wow. And now that is the situation. And when I was a child, we even don't think to speak an adult, because the thing of the kids was one thing, and the thing of the adult people is another thing. The kids even don't stay when the people are talking, and go out. We need to talk about something that you don't need to hear. And but now I when I deal with my students, wow, I think we in the past we saw when I was in elementary school, we saw the student for middle and high school so far. But now in the college, I seen that in the school, I see that the little girls about fourth grade get a table, and I said to the high school student, "Oh, we get first the table, and you need to go to other table." Wow, we can do that, and the little kids are so amazing in this time, and we need to direct them to not get lost the respect and all the things. But this episode is good, but I don't see in discussing parent and kids or children in front of the strangers is not. I think it's something like be prepared, because it's too much good argument and too much in time. A girl for 7 or 8 years old, didn't need to be prepared before, but it's a little good.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, you're right. This is a show, right? So it's not like a serious thing. It's because of the audience and many things. And it's interesting the way that the girl speaks. I mean, she has a very good argument. And so you are right. Maybe in the past, it was not possible to argue with your mom or your dad. I mean, you just say yes and that's it, right? So, but yeah, nowadays kids, because of the world we're living, as we have discussed all the class, uh, they are different, right? They are able to understand life in a different way. So it's an interesting, interesting argument. And this is like a content that you can find over YouTube, right? Good. Anybody else wants to share opinion?
Well, teacher, in my opinion, I believe that give a cell phone to a child is not a good option because maybe you need to take the control what they doing. I know that there are option that you have now the like a settings when the cell phone will be used by a child, but I believe that they need to grow as the old school. So I guess and believe that most of here we're on the old school, learning good things, and also they need to look for some information for the school, but they can do it in a computer where you maybe be careful what they are doing.
Okay. Yeah, actually, that topic is interesting. I mean, will a kid? It's okay for a kid to have a cell phone, and yeah, I mean, there are many things. There are many pros and cons, and
Maybe
uh-huh.
we can give a cell phone that was created in 80s, no, in 90s, that don't have a lot of technology, that only can be used for calls and messages, but only that one.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, sometimes it's a good idea to give a little, but not too much, right?
Yeah,
And yeah, I mean, since over the internet you can, I mean, you can find anything nowadays, right? So
yeah, that's
it
right.
might be dangerous for kids to watch whatever they want, and sometimes their little friends they say, "Hey, look at this," and I mean, not good, right? Not good at all.
Yeah,
Okay, very
that's
good.
my opinion.
Perfect. Thank you. So, anybody else wants to share about this?
Me, teacher.
Okay.
I think this is important to teach the kids how control about this because we have a lot of technology nowadays, and it's important, at least for me, in my opinion, it's important that they learn to handle it. But we need to take control and we need to establish some rules because in the network or in the internet, there are many dangers for them. So game online, for example, they can speak with the strange, and you saw in internet a lot of worse things. So it's important, and I think that it's important that they can take responsibilities about that because we have a pandemics 2 years ago, so and it was a time when technology was very helpful for education, for communication, for all. So the kids, it's important that they can take, for example, their class online, etc. So it's useful and sometimes for funny, for relax, and for watching. I don't know. series, movie, it's entertainment. But it's a big risk, but I think that the responsibility is for the parents. And in my case, I try to do in the best way, but I know sometimes I fail. But I try. That's it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So, yes, for some reasons might be convenient for them to have a cell phone, but yeah, it's dangerous, right? Not only the content that they can see, uh, the social media, but yeah, you are right. I mean, they can speak with people that are kind of not good people, right? And yeah, since they are innocent, they can follow by something. So it's definitely not a good idea. So probably another question that comes to my mind is, what is a good age for a kid or for a person to have a cell phone? What do you think?
Wow, it's a very difficult answer because even though adult people don't have control, we lost the time seeing something that is not important. And but if you are a father and you send your kid to school, and you need to get in touch with the kid, and you need to give them because if an emergency and nobody knows, he or she needs to speak with you. And I see for the right reasons is it need, but the problem that we have is that we don't take the fatherhood in a responsible way, and we need to distract. You need to the kids are not disturbing me, and okay, go to the tablet, go to the phone, and do another thing. But I need to work, or I need to, and this something that is not a good form of to let the kids get a phone or get a tablet. The best thing is teach the kids that there is for a specific purpose, and I seen about 10 or 12 years a kid can have a phone to communicate with their parents.
Okay, between 10 and 12. Yeah, you are right. Sometimes also we, the parents, we need to be careful to install a parental control or anything like that one, right? To avoid things. Problem is that sometimes we need to know about technology, and another problem is, as you say, that some parents they don't care, right? As long the kid is busy and is not bothering you, sometimes that is good enough for some parents. But yeah, sometimes it's necessary, depending on the age, to have a way of communication, entertain, or things like that. But what about the rest of the people? What do you think is a good age for anybody to have a cell phone?
Maybe after the 15, I believe. Maybe when they can buy some.
Okay, so let's say after
Because
18.
yeah, because maybe they will know what is the cost of to have it.
Okay, so yeah, that is something that is valuable whenever you teach your kids what is the cost and they are mature enough. Probably is going to be a very good approach on this matter, right? Okay, very good. All right, any other opinion on what is the best age for a person to have a cell phone?
Maybe teacher between the 12 and 15, because maybe at that age the kids are like more responsible about that kind of for me it's a tool at that age. But nowadays it's very common to see kids around 5 years, because sometimes for the parents it's easier to keep entertaining the kids. Just put a video on YouTube and the kids is just quiet. And that can be good, and sometimes that can be bad. But maybe for me, between the 12 and 15 years old.
Okay. Yeah, between 12 and 15. That sounds good. And yes, problem is that we never know what they learn and what they do. We cannot be there next to them all day long. So yeah, it's dangerous, but it's also necessary. And somebody says something important, even the adults, sometimes we don't have control, right? Sometimes we see content that is, I mean, not relevant, not educational or anything like that. It's just pure entertainment, and if they get a low age a cell phone and get lost in entertainment, sometimes they can get into that one forever, right? So it's something that happens. That, for example, for me, it happened when I was a kid, not with the internet, but with the television. I really love to see or to watch television a lot. And my mom says that when I was a kid, television broke. And she said that I got sick because I was not able to watch TV. So imagine with the cell phone, with something that you have, and the punishment sometimes is that one, right? So when they do something that it was not correct, you say, I'm going to take off your cell phone. And they say, no, please don't do that one. Or video games or any other thing. But that is the regular punishment that we do. You are not studying that much, so I'm going to keep your cell phone. And it's a hard punishment for them because they are already involved in this activity. Very good. Perfect. Do you believe is in terms of dangerous, is it more dangerous for boys or for girls? What do you think? To be exposed to any kind of things over the internet.
Oh, it's complicated. I think we always pay more attention to girls, to take care of girls, because the girls in the they tend to get compassion more than boys, and if somebody asks for help, and somebody the girls can feel identified and can go out and give me something, and I think is the boys, the majority of the boys don't care, don't care about that. But the girls are different. The girls are so tender and so cute that they want to help. And for that reason, we need to get more care with the girls, because at 5 or 6, they feel the empathy, the connections, and if we don't get the right direction to those feelings, it's difficult for them. And on the other side, I think boys don't care about that. I use the same chair the 3 days and I don't care. But the little girl, they need to feel beautiful. They need to feel loved. And social media, it has some negative impact, because I am not like this girl. I am not have the things that the other girl says. I listen my students. I don't have the things that the other girl have. A student for 13, 14 years, and And I try to say, you are beautiful. God makes you perfect. You are a perfect girl. And there was somebody that loved you that the way you are. But they want to have the things that the other have. And for that reason, boys don't care. Boy is more because they mature something late, and they don't realize that they are different. I think it's a different situation, and for that reason, they don't be easy changes of mind or do something that they don't want to do. But the girls are some tender, some kind, and we need to be careful with the girls.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for your reflection. So, yes, definitely girls and boys are different. They have different approach. You are right. We boys, we mature like 20 or 30 years later than the girls.
Yes.
That is so true. Sometimes we never mature, right? We are playing like
The
little kids.
majority of us.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yes.
sometimes I'm on the street and I see a toys store and I'm like fascinated with the toys. I mean, but that is not good, right? I mean, sometimes when I was married, sometimes my wife was like, "Why are you seeing that one? Let's go home." And I'm like, "Wait, I want to see this thing." So that had happened, right? So right,
Yes.
very good. Any other opinion? Do you believe is the same or is more difficult for girls, more difficult for boys? They are in more danger in front of the social media or the content. What do you think?
I think teacher.
No, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm going to be very quickly. I
We cannot hear you, Giselle.
the work can be vulnerable, and not because it's just for the gender. Maybe it's 50-50, but for me, girls in social media, like David said, are more vulnerable than boys, because I think that me talking as a girl, sometimes we feel like David said. I think that maybe girls are more, or they can feel more affected by the opinions of other girls. And yeah, I think that maybe girls are more vulnerable, and sometimes not just because of the opinions of boys, just maybe the impact is more when the comment or the negative opinions comes to from other girls. So yeah, that I think that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So, yeah, you're right. So, yeah, we know that men and women are different, and yeah, you're right. Competition within girls is raw, and a bad comment can make you feel very bad. With men, we don't care, right? I mean, we can have the same shirt, five people, five boys, and it's like, hey, we have the same shirt. We have. For girls, it's totally different. So, the impact that has, and that I mean social media nowadays is kind of crazy. Yeah, Marvin, you were going to say something.
I think like Giselle is 50-50, but I share the opinion of David. The men's are highlighted for growing up. So in my case, I have two children, a girl and a boy, and the boy is the older, but I need to put more attention to him because he is very distracted. So he make some things in the cell phone that when I ask him, uh, he he doesn't know how 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 he did it. And my girl is put more attention in the details. So So I guess that if 50-50, but it depends the character or the personality of the kid. That's it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. You are so right. I mean, yes, they're different and the approach is different, but we need to consider also that we are all different as well. So depending on the personality of the kid, I mean, boy or girl, probably it's going to be more dangerous for a boy that follows, for example, imagine that something they are following some challenges over the internet. Sometimes they are not good, right? And it doesn't matter if you're a girl or a boy. But yes, since girls are different and they need to to have a more affection, sometimes that makes a difference. So depending, for me, I believe that depending on the character, the personality of the person itself, and of course, sometimes it also depends not only on the media that they see, but also for their friends, right? The influences they have are surrounding them. So that is something very, very important in this matter. Good, perfect. So we're gonna finish the class and then we're gonna check the attendance. But before that one, do you have any question?
Yes, teacher, can you share the link for the first video? The first video shocked me. The advance of technology, something like that is, I need to see again.
Definitely, definitely. I'm gonna send that one. So yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, sometimes you can find lots of things very interesting out of nowhere, right? So it's nice. Very good. So let's check the attendance. Ana Claudia González Velázquez. David Samuel Galdames Monterrosa.
Present, teacher.
Good. Dora Elizabeth Flores Mendez.
Present.
Good. Fernando Ernesto Cosme Morales.
Present.
Good. Fernando Marvin González Martínez.
Present.
Good. Francisco Eduardo Figueroa Mejía. Iliana Giselle Cañas Escobar.
Present, teacher.
Good. Jarvin Isaac Guevara Miranda.
Present, teacher.
Good. Jose Marcos Rodríguez Ayala.
Present.
Good. Jose Osmin Rivas Navas.
Present.
Good. Jose Wilfredo Ayala Sorto.
Present, teacher.
Good. Juan Miguel Bran Mejía.
Present, teacher.
Good. Luis Albert Steve Bonilla Canales. Good. Roxana Ivette Asensio de Mejía. William Alexander Ramírez Flores.
Present.
Good. Wendy Patricia Molina Duarte. Okay, my friends, was a pleasure to be with you tonight. Let's see you tomorrow and have a good night. Dream in English.
Thank you, teacher. Have a good night too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hello, Wendy. Are you able to hear me? I don't know if you can hear me.